Welcome to MMA Dogs. Today we're going to take a look at UFC on FX with the main event being Travis Browne versus Bigfoot Silva. This is going to be on October 5th. So we'll start the predictions off with the first fight of the night, which is Aaron Simpson versus Mike Pierce at the welterweight, 170 pounds. For this fight, I really think it's funny that Aaron Simpson and Mike Pierce are opening up a card. Usually they reserve that spot for people who are new to the UFC or who are, just kind of a new fighter or somebody who's on a losing streak or somebody who's not really famous. And these two guys have been around the UFC for a long time. But I think the reason why they're opening it up is because they're just, decision fighters. They're both wrestlers. And I don't think they finished. Do you know when the last time one of these guys finished somebody was? They're just decision fighters.
Take a look here. We've got. Oh my goodness.
So Aaron Simpson versus Mike Pierce. This should be a wake-up call. Honestly, like if your profession is to be a fighter, and you've got excellent wrestling, good. I respect that. That's good. You got wrestling, excellent. Good for you. That could be one of the most important things to have, wrestling. But if your job is to make as much money as possible, be the best fighter that you can be, do the right things and be a good fighter, and you can't finish a fight ever, like all you do is ever go to decision, that's kind of boring to watch. And these two guys, man, they need to figure something out, right?
Yeah.
Maybe take some extra jiu-jitsu, maybe take, a whole day and just work on your jiu-jitsu so you can, you got the takedowns, you got the clinch, you got all these different things, but you got to figure out a way to finish a fight. So I'm actually happy that they're starting off the card. I think it's just a funny situation. With that being said, I'm going to take Mike Pierce. He fought a really close decision with Josh Koscheck. I was there. I saw it firsthand. It was pretty close. So I'm going to go with Pierce via decision. Of course, I don't think he's going to finish him. I hope he does. I hope somebody finishes it. But I'm going to go with Mike Pierce via decision. What do you think, Dog?
I am also going to take Mike Pierce via decision. His fight with Paul Bradley and Josh Koscheck, we were both there. I was sitting right next to my dog right here. And we honestly think that Mike Pierce is a better fighter than the UFC gives him credit for. I personally think Aaron Simpson is on his way out, even though it seems more like he's on his way down in weight. But I do think...
That's a good point. He used to fight middleweight, a lean middleweight, 185, but now he's just ripped at 170, just shredded.
Yeah.
But with that being said, a lot of times, that can affect the fighter in the wrong way. With Aaron Simpson, we'll see.
Exactly. I'm taking Mike Pierce based on the chin. I actually think he won his fight against Josh Koscheck. I went 9 for 11 that night, and that was one of my only losses, and it cost me pretty much I won some money, but I would have won a whole lot more if Mike Pierce got that decision. So I'm going to go ahead and say, Mike Pierce, 3-round decision, if not a stoppage against Aaron Simpson.
What do you think, maybe like a TKO stoppage?
Yeah, it's not going to be a submission. I think it's going to be a decision, but it could be a TKO or something.
So wait a minute. So we got Mike Pierce. The last time he finished somebody was Kenny Robertson in 2011. So maybe I'm being a little bit harsh on Mike Pierce.
But he's got 3 split decisions.
But that was Kenny Robertson then again, so that's not really... And, I don't know. Are these guys even in the UFC anymore? Amilcar Alves, Kenny Robertson? Let's see. Let's take a look and see. Are they in the UFC anymore? Robertson is. Amilcar. He's not.
Well, let's look at Aaron Simpson real fast. He fought Kenny Robertson and won his first welterweight, I guess, decision. Last time the UFC was on Fuel, back in June. And then he lost a split decision to Ronnie Marks. Didn't he get rocked in that fight quite a few times by Marks? Or no, Marks got caught. Marks got caught by Simpson.
That fight was also kind of funny, kind of ironic, because two guys who grind out. We have a saying when it comes to these fighters who grind out boring decisions. And like I said, I respect wrestlers. I can respect it. It's a great tool to have. It's a great weapon to have when you're fighting somebody wrestling. It's very important. But for fans and for people who are paying money, like for example, we go to Las Vegas, we pay money to go see these fights. It can get a little bit boring. It can get a little bit more than just boring. So with Aaron Simpson, we have this saying where we say, hey, fighter A is going up against fighter B. Well, maybe fighter A is going to Aaron Simpson is way to a victory.
A-Train
is way to his nickname to a victory. You know, so you know, it's just one of those situations where this fight is just.
And didn't his loss to Ronnie Marks didn't
Simpson
get A-trained himself in that one?
That's right. At
least in
Aaron
the last
Simpson
round.
got A-trained himself, which was awesome to watch. I mean, you know, this guy just puts guys up against the fence and tries to grind out like a John Fitch, like a John Fitch. So it's just funny this whole fight. But yeah, the more I look into it, the more I see, the more I kind of. I think Mike Pierce will get it.
Mike Pierce.
29, 20.
No.
29-28 split decision for Mike Pierce.
Split decision, really?
Just because of the judges.
One judge will give him a 30-27.
Something.
All right,
funny,
we're taking way too much time on this fight.
Let's
move on to the next
All right,
one.
next fight: Carlo Prater versus Marcus Levasseur, 155. Marcus, his last fight out, I was really disappointed with his fighting style, his timing, his range. It was just maybe because it was his first UFC fight or something like that. But I really didn't like his style. I had hopes for him, but I'm not really, And with Carlo Prater, we know he's got excellent submissions. So I'm going to go with Carlo Prater via submission.
Submission in the second round, I have Carlo Prater winning that one also. Carlo Prater doesn't have the greatest of chins, but I think he's a little bit more of a smarter fighter than Marcus Levasseur, and I don't even know if that's how you pronounce his name. But yeah, I'm going to say the more experienced fighter is going to win this one.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Fighting IQ, everything I've seen from Carlo Prater, that's his fighter IQ is way higher than Marcus Levasseur, and I think Carlo Prater's been outmatched too. He's been mismatched. He's been put up against guys he had no business fighting. Didn't he? He fought Eric Silva in Brazil, didn't he?
Yeah,
he did.
He did.
Was that in Brazil? He fought Eric Silva in Brazil, and he got Eric Silva got disqualified. So Carlo Prater won via disqualification, which is just a bunch of
I'm pretty sure that was my first upset
of the night there.
The first big upset that I was able to predict
that's just like the John Jones Matt Hamill situation, where one guy's gonna win it, the other guy gets disqualified, the guy who should have won it, and so it's just a silly fight. I'm not really too excited about both. I'm a little bit excited for Aaron Simpson and Mike Pierce just because I think it's, like I said, a funny fight. But Carlo Prater, Levasseur, I'm not really. I just want to see a submission for Prater. I think he's on his way to submission. I really believe that. So we'll go with that. Then we got Phil Harris versus Darren Uyenoyama. I'm going to go with Darren. I saw him fight at the Honda Center. He's a good fighter. And it's dropping down to 125. I saw him fight at 135. Now that the UFC's got the flyweight at 125, I think Darren will show up here. I think he'll get the win. And so I'm going to go with Darren.
I do not know how to pronounce Darren's last name, so I'm just going to call him Darren. I picked against him in this one. I'm still kind of undecided if it's a for sure thing or not. It's definitely a do not bet for me if you're into betting on MMA. But I think that Phil Harris, I don't know much about him, but Darren's last fight, I guess, over Kid Yamamoto, he definitely got caught a lot in that fight, and he was coming in as a heavy underdog, and that might have been the momentum he needed to win that fight. So I'm going to stick with Harris for now. I might change my pick later.
So moving on to the next fight.
Diego Nunes versus Bart Palachewski.
For that one, I've got Diego Nunes via decision. Diego Nunes, another decision fighter. He's got good timing. He's got good range. He's got really good, just a good strategy overall. It's not always the most exciting. But he's a little bit more exciting than Aaron Simpson and Mike Pierce. He does throw kicks. He's got a little bit flashier style, so it can be a little bit more exciting. So I'm going to go with Diego Nunes. I don't think that Palachewski's going to be fast enough on his feet. His reaction time's not going to be good enough. He's just not as agile, as athletic as Diego Nunes. So I'll say it's a solid decision for Diego Nunes at featherweight.
I'm going to pick against Diego Nunes on this one. The reason behind that is his last 4 fights went to decision. He's 2-2. One of them being a split decision and one of them being a unanimous decision over the Anvil. And we were at that fight also, and personally, I think the Anvil won that fight. I don't know how he got the decision. I think the judges just gave the decision
I agree on that one.
On a lot of kicks and flips and all that. And he lost to Kenny Florian and he lost to Dennis Seaver. Those guys are really good and everything, but I just see, I'm looking at Bart and he knocked out Tyson Griffin. He didn't stand a chance really against Hatsu Hioki in Japan in his last fight. But do I think Diego Nunes is going to take Bart down and do what Hatsu Hioki did? I don't see that happening. Somehow I just think Bart's going to win this fight, and Diego Nunes, 9 fights, his last 9 fights gone the distance. He's only lost 3, but 2 of his ones were split. The one unanimous win over Manny Gambarian 2 fights ago, I personally think he lost. So I just don't think he's as good as everybody makes him. So let's just keep that at that. And
yeah, it's interesting you say that because with Diego Nunes fighting Gambarian, I definitely agree on that fight. I had Nunes winning it via decision, and I definitely think that Gambarian won that fight.
All right, next fight, Shane Roller versus Jacob Volkman.
All right, for this fight, man, 2 wrestlers again. But at least Shane Roller has the ability to knock somebody out and also the ability to submit someone. So this is an easy pick for me. I'm going to go with Shane Roller. I think he'll, let's see. I think he'll probably more likely to have a submission over Jacob Volkman. But I think that Roller could decision him or submit him or knock him out. So I'm definitely going with Roller for my pick. Let's see. Roller via decision.
Yeah, I'm saying Roller via decision for all the same reasons that my dog said. I'm gonna go with Roller via decision.
Yeah, let's move right along with this.
I don't see Shane Roller actually finishing Jacob Volkman because I don't think Jacob Volkman is gonna lose a fight via stoppage two times in a row, right?
Yeah, he got submitted by Sass. Easy first round submission.
He could, but I'm gonna go with the decision on that, and let's just move on.
Yep. So we got Dennis Hallman versus Thiago Tavares, 155s. For this one, another fight where these guys grind out. They get in the clinch. They push each other up against the cage. So, but with this one, I see Thiago Tavares. He's got knockout power. He's just a loose cannon of a fighter. So I'm gonna say with Tavares having the grappling, having the grappling that Dennis Hallman can offer to him, he can counterattack, counter move. I'm gonna go with Thiago Tavares on this one. Thiago Tavares, I would say either decision or knockout, but definitely Tavares.
I'm picking Dennis Hallman on this one, submission round 1. Something about Thiago Tavares, he just doesn't seem like he shines as much as he should unless he's fighting in Brazil. I'm picking Dennis Hallman because in his last 2 fights, he was able to get his opponent on the ground, and even though he lost to Brian Ebersol, he still got him on the ground and in the rear naked choke position pretty easily. And he also submitted John McDessie in the first round doing the exact same thing. He just goes in there, takes him down.
Wait a minute.
What? You don't remember this?
Wait a minute. No, it didn't. Didn't Dennis Hallman show up in his mama's underwear?
That was against Brian Ebersol.
Yeah, he showed up in his mama's underwear.
What happened was,
remember that?
Yeah. What happened? It was like Superman underwear because he's his nickname's Superman.
That wasn't no Super. That was the grandma's underwear.
Well, it was like a blue Speedo or something. But he took.
So we got 2 loose cannons. We got this crazy Dennis Hallman showing up in his mama's underwear, and we got Thiago Tavares showing up, acting real wild and almost didn't he? He got knocked out by Shane Roller. But with what I see here, Hallman, he's probably gonna, if he wins, it'll probably be a decision. I don't think he's gonna submit Thiago Tavares, and I definitely don't think he's gonna knock him out. So I would say Tavares has a little bit more ways to win. Another way to win, and so that's what I think. But that's a good point though, dog. Dennis Hallman, at least you know what you're going to get out of him. With Yawa Tavares, man, this guy could show up and just act a fool out there, act crazy, get knocked out, or get something stupid would happen. So yeah, that's a good point. I mean, these two guys, man. The more I see the more that I'm looking at this fight, the more these two loose cannons, man, it could go either way.
It's a do not bet, but
yeah,
I really like Dennis Hallman in this
one.
All right. He took
down
Bryan Ebersol.
I can see that.
And almost submitted him.
I could see that. I mean,
Bryan Ebersol, great submission defense,
yeah,
and recovered and got the ground and pound.
That's true.
But he still took him down, just like he did to John McDessie.
That's a good point. With Tavares, I see him just kind of. He was on the up, and he just kind of stagnated. With Hallman, I see him on the decline. So I'm gonna stick with Tavares. I do not bet. I wouldn't look too much into betting this fight or any strategies like that. This next fight I am excited for. We got Michael Johnson versus Danny Castillo. This is 155, of course, lightweight. This fight I am excited for. Michael Johnson, man, this guy, he has had 2 upset victories over 2 guys who were favorites. He beat up Tony Ferguson, real bad, and he's on the come up. And then Danny Castillo, he's on a 4-fight winning streak here, and I'm really excited for this fight. I think in the end, though, Danny Castillo's wrestling and his submissions, he's got good submissions, will be too much for Michael Johnson. So I'm gonna go with Danny Castillo. Michael Johnson will probably gas. Probably in the 3rd round or so. So Danny Castillo via submission.
Same pick for me. I'm going to take Danny Castillo via submission in the 3rd round. A lot of people might know this. They might not know this. But before Michael Johnson fought Tony Ferguson, he fought Shane Roller as an underdog, and he was whooping Roller's ass on the feet before he got taken down in the 3rd round. Then, I don't want to really say the referee's name because I don't really remember 100%, but the referee stopped the fight to tell Roller, who had Michael Johnson in all kinds of trouble, just to tell Roller, watch the back of the head. This 5 seconds gave Johnson the chance to recover and win the decision. I'm not ignoring that at all. I'm going to say Shane Roller got screwed out of that fight and would have probably finished Michael Johnson had it not been for that. So I'm going to say Danny Castillo submission round 3.
Excellent.
Just like my dog.
Good. I think with this one it'll be interesting to see what the odds are because Michael Johnson, he was a big underdog his last 2 fights, won. So it'll be interesting to see what the odds makers say for that one. We got Jeremy Stephens versus Yves Edwards at 155. I don't see Stephens dropping another fight. He looked horrible against Donald Cerrone. He just did not look like Jeremy Stephens, didn't look like the little heathen. So with this one, I don't see him doing that again. I don't see him losing back-to-back and looking like that. So I'm going to pick Jeremy Stephens. Probably, with this fight, I'm going to say decision. Jeremy Stephens decision.
I'm going to take Little Heathen over the Texas Gunslinger. Knockout round 2. I think Jeremy Stephens is due for a finish, and he's going to get one in this fight.
All right, here we got Josh Neer versus Justin Edwards. This fight at welterweight, I do not care about it. I do not look forward to it. These 2 guys, man, I what the hell they're doing up in this up so high in the fight card. I would rather see Michael Johnson and Danny Castillo, or I would rather see Shane Roller, Jacob Volkman, or Diego Nunes, Bart. So this fight I don't even care about. I did look into it, just to see. I'm going to pick Josh Neer on this one.
I'm going to take Josh Neer via decision, but I wouldn't count out Justin Edwards. He definitely has knockout power, as you probably saw in the 1st round against John McGuire. And obviously Neer's Quinn is very, very questionable after his last fight with Mike Pyle. So I'm going to say the dentist will beat Fast Eddie Edwards, but I wouldn't count Fast Eddie out completely. So it's a do not bet, but I think Josh the dentist Neer will get the decision.
All right, next fight, John Dodson versus Jussier da Silva. With this one, I see I see a lot of potential in John Dodson. I see a lot of potential in this guy. But, man, this guy's a loose cannon. I can't trust this guy, against Jussier da Silva. So I would say Jussier da Silva is going to beat him. So that's my pick. What do you think, Doug?
I'm going the same way. John Dodson is, I think, very overrated. He's not a bad fighter. He's just really overrated.
Not a bad fighter. Yeah, I think he's overrated too.
And this Jussier de Silva guy, he looks like he could be the next Renan Barão at flyweight. So
and John Dodson's a little bit annoying too. He behaves, he acts like. And the way he laughs on the Ultimate Fighter.
I don't really care about how annoying people are or how they talk or anything.
I do. I do.
Yeah.
Especially on a fight that I'm just watching for pure entertainment as a fan. Not somebody who's gonna bet on that particular fight, unless the odds are released and it's just something that I don't agree with. It's just. One of these fights, man, that guy, he's got this crazy laugh, and he just acts like he thinks he's a Ninja Turtle or something like that, and he's not that. So I'm gonna go with and like you said, he's overrated. He's just this loose cannon of a guy, this crazy pinball in there. He should learn. You know who he should learn from? He should learn from Mighty Mouse. He should try and take a thing or two from Mighty Mouse and the fighting style. Because they're both real athletic, real agile, real fast kind of fighters, and he should look into behaving himself more like Mighty Mouse does.
Well, if he gets his chance, he'll definitely be trying to take that title.
Yeah, he won't take that.
If he gets the chance, if he gets the chance, he's going to try to take it. That's all I'm saying.
I'm telling you right now, I guarantee you that John Dodson will not beat Mighty Mouse. I guarantee it.
That fight might not even happen, but
it might not ever happen, and it shouldn't happen. All right, here we go. Jay Heron versus Jake Ellenberger, 170. This is a fight we should have seen at 151 had Johnny Bones Jones not been acting like a kid. So I'm gonna say, when it was in Vegas, Jay Heron being from Vegas, I could see the home field advantage. Where Jay Heron, might say, what, I'm going to be fighting in front of all my teammates here, all the people I see every day. Maybe he'll show up, somehow beat Ellenberger. We know Ellenberger gasses in the third round. So maybe Heron will pull something out, an upset. There's usually one upset at least on the main card that's noteworthy. So, but with the fight being moved back, and Ellenberger's just a beast, man. That guy, I see Ellenberger either knocking out Heron in the first or second round, or if he can't do that, then he'll win a decision. So I'm going to go real confident Jake Ellenberger will beat Jay Heron.
I'm going to say the same thing. I'm going to say it's going to be a decision for the exact same reason. I believe that Jay Heron had a chance at beating Ellenberger back at 151, but with the card being changed and all that, a lot of fighters aren't exactly winning the way they probably would have if the fight did actually happen in Vegas back on Labor Day weekend. But with this being the co-main event and everything, anything's possible. I do think Jay Heron already beat Ellenberger. I think he gave him the first loss of his career back before he was in the UFC. But I don't think it's going to happen again. So I'm going to say Jake Ellenberger, 29-28 decision, unanimous.
Yep.
Main event?
And now we move to the main event. We got Travis Browne versus Bigfoot Silva. Antonio Bigfoot Silva, heavyweight. Bigfoot's last fight against Cain Velasquez, man, this guy just got handled, taken down, beat up, bloody. He got messed up by Cain Velasquez. And, it takes a lot. This Bigfoot Silva guy, man, he took such a beating. And Bigfoot got knocked out by Daniel Cormier. Now, imagine what Travis Browne, who's got, he's just got knockout power, man. So I see Travis Browne knocking out Bigfoot in the first round. Just kind of like how Travis Browne knocked out the skyscraper, Stefan Struve. He just looked like a French fry, up in the air, just wow. So I see that happening, but this time, I just see Bigfoot just collapsing. Boom, doing a Rashad Evans, when Machida knocked him out, just going down the first round hard. So I see Travis Browne on the come up, coming up the ranks. Bigfoot Silva coming down like a skyscraper, just on the way down. So Travis Browne, first round knockout.
I see the fight with the same outcome a little bit differently. I think this fight is going to go to the 4th round, and it's going to come down to who has the better cardio. We know Travis Browne has plenty of good cardio for a heavyweight, and we do know that Bigfoot does gas, as he did against Fabricio Verdum, I think it was. So I'm going to say Travis Browne is just going to take a big, fat brown shit on Bigfoot Silva in the 4th round, and let's just leave it at that.
All right, so that wraps up all our picks. If you want to get more information about the odds and see, who's worth betting, who's not worth betting, once the odds are released, you can check out MMA Dogs, MMA DAWGS, Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus, website, so you can take a look there and look for the latest updates. And with that being said, if you like this video, if you like it, go ahead and like it on our YouTube channel. With that being said, we're looking forward to this fight card, and then after that we got UFC 153 in Brazil, which will be real exciting. I can't wait for that, and we'll be posting a video up for that. So good luck.